Hello everyone, this is Kayla here at the Coopersville Area District Library, and I am bringing you another adult craft night video. I hope you've been enjoying these. I've had lots of fun making them. It's fun to be able to make crafts on the job sometimes. But today we will be making these cool little paper beads. They're a really fun way to, use magazines, or like I always say in my craft videos, you can use junk mail. It's a great way to recycle. And they're super fun. They're fun to make with kids. All you need is some paper. I've made some out of books. I've made some out of magazines. All you need is some fun colors, a little bit of creativity. I will let you know what the supplies are at the beginning of the video, but with that, let's get started. So what you will need for this craft is obviously some paper. Since they're paper beads, this is just part of a sheet from a book page catalog we have here, but anything will work. Magazines, I know National Geographic work really well for these just because they're colorful, or if you just find a colorful ad, you're not really going to see what's on there, so it doesn't really matter as long as you like the colors. You will also need a ruler just to make your lines with and to measure. Then you're going to need either a pencil or a pen. I'll be using this Sharpie type marker just because it's easier to see on the camera. You'll need a toothpick because this is what we're going to be winding them around to make the shapes. You will also need either Mod Podge, this is what I'm using just because we already had it here at the library, or if you don't have this, you can use clear nail polish, works really well, which is nice because it comes with its own brush, or you can even just use regular school glue. If you're using Mod Podge or school glue, you will need a paintbrush just to paint it on there with and get it on there well. And then you will also need scissors, and then whatever you want to finish your jewelry with, if you're making a necklace or a bracelet. I was lucky and I found this elastic cord in the basement, which is really nice because it means I don't need any fixtures. I can just put them on there, tie a knot, and it stretches to go on my wrist, which is super easy. If you want to borrow some of that or keep some of that from us, just let us know and I can give you some. But with that, we will get started. So we're going to start with our paper, our ruler. I'm going to be using a marker, and then we also want our scissors on hand. But what we're going to do is whatever side you don't want showing for your beads, so this is the front, this is the back, we're going to take the back, and that's where we're going to do our measuring, just so we don't see our lines when we do roll them up. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to take the paper there, line up the ruler, and I am going to mark every 1 inch. I'm just going to put a dot on there. And this is just something I picked. These are just the measurements I picked. If you do bigger or smaller, you end up with different shapes of beads or different lengths. But I find this one is a good basic one. So what you're going to do then is you're going to flip it over, and on the other side you're just going to start in 1/2 inch, and then just do the same thing, just every inch till you reach the other edge there. And so now we have marks on each side and they're kind of offset from each other. So what we're going to do with those is we are just going to pick the first one on one side, and you're just kind of connect with your straight edge there, and it's on a little bit of an angle. It really does not need to be perfect. As long as you end up with your triangles, it's gonna be fine. So when you connect them, you end up with these long, skinny triangles. And you're just kind of zigzagging across. And connecting those all, and I'm just going to do a few there just for time's sake, but you can go all the way across. Once you're done, you're just going to take your scissors and you're going to cut one of those triangles off. And if you're making a lot of these, you can cut them all at the same time, but I'm just going to be showing you how to do one. So I'm just going to cut off my closest triangle there. As you can see, it just kind of looks like a big old skinny piece of pizza. And once you have that, what you're going to do, get your glue ready. I'm just going to use this to keep my workspace a little cleaner. But what you're going to do, you're going to take it, the big end, so not the pointy end, the big end you're going to take your toothpick, and you're just going to start curling that around. You're going to try to keep it as tight as you can. The beginning part is always the hardest, it's just getting it started. There we go. So you're just going to do that, you're just going to roll it up. It's kind of like rolling up like a sleeping bag, kind of. You just keep rolling, trying to keep it as tight as you can. Whoop. I unrolled it a bit, so I'm just gonna roll it back up. And you want to try to keep it centered, because that's what's going to make that kind of oblong shape and make it thicker in the middle, just because you're going to end up with more paper there. There we go. What I found is easiest is you leave a little tiny bit of a tail at the end. Get a little bit of glue, and you are just going to tape that down and just kind of push it down with your finger, because that makes it easier. Oop, I got some goop from my fingers from earlier on there. You're just going to kind of push it down, because that helps keep the roll on there, and then you don't have to hold it down while you're covering the rest of it with glue. And what the glue really does is it just keeps it from unraveling, but then it also just kind of gives it a protective coating and kind of makes it hard like a normal bead. So once you get a good coating of glue on there, you are just going to pop it off. I just kind of push it up. It takes a little doing, but I haven't had one squish on me yet. And you are going to get glue on your fingers. There's no avoiding it. So you just kind of pinch it off. There. And then you're just going to set it aside to dry. And I find it's easier to stand it up on something to dry, so like the cap of your glue, or even just anything else you have around, just so it doesn't stick. Okay, so now I'll be showing you how to make these rounder beads here. Hard to see on camera, but on the bracelet you can see these are the ones we just made, and I'll be teaching you to make these rounder ones. And really what we're going to do is we're just going to make skinnier triangles, which we are going to do. So you're going to find one edge of your paper. Mine's a square, because I've been chopping off pieces of it, so it really doesn't matter which one I end up with. But what you're going to do is, instead of 1 inch, you're going to start 1/4 of an inch in, and then I am just going to mark it every 1/2 inch. Oops, that's 1/4. It's okay if you mess up, as long as you know what you're doing there. So you're just going to go 1/2 inch all the way across. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to start mine there. And then on the other side, what you're going to do, just so they are offset, you're going to start in 1/2 inch. Oops, here, let me line mine up. So 1/2 inch there. Just do the same thing every 1/2 inch. And you're going to make your triangles again just by connecting diagonally. Again, does not need to be perfect, but what you're doing is you're just ending up with skinnier triangles, and you will need 3 of these for every round bead that you want. Ooh, that one. There we go. And again, we're using the other side of the paper so your lines can be messy. As long as you know what's going on. So there we go. So I have 3 triangles drawn out there. Again, it's easier if you cut them all at once, but I'm just doing this for the sake of time for the video. So we're just going to cut out on those lines. There's one. There's 2. And there's 3. So with these, what we're going to do to make it round, you just kind of make it thicker. So what we're doing with these is we're taking our glue. We're just getting a little dot on there. And on the top, so this is the front side, we're just going to put a little bit there. And we're just going to glue another one on there. Back to front. You just want to line them up as best you can. And then with the third strip, we're just doing the same thing. We're taking it, we got a bit of glue. Just put in, ooh, actually that's the wrong side, but it's okay. Or take the 2 that are stuck together, put a bit of glue on there. And tape that one on there too. It just makes it thicker so it ends up rounder at the end. So you just end up, it's pretty much just a thick, skinny triangle. Take your toothpick again and just do the same thing you did before. You're just going to roll it up. Try to keep it as tight as you can. As you can see, this one kind of just gets thicker, quicker, just because there is 3 layers instead of 1. Again, I like to leave a little tail at the end. Get a bit of glue. Glue those down just so they stick and it doesn't unroll on me while I put the coating on the outside. As you can see, these ones didn't turn out quite as round as my other ones, and I think it's because I didn't make my triangles as skinny as I did last time. So if you want yours even rounder than this, you're just going to make skinnier triangles. Like I said, it's really just a lot about playing around with the sizes. And if I can get this one off there, that one's stuck pretty well. There's a lot of glue on this toothpick because I've been using it for a while. Like I said, I've yet to squish one really bad coming off, so they're pretty sturdy. There we go. And if you want to, you can just put another layer of glue just to make it nice and shiny, and because I got some goop on there from my fingers because I've been doing this for a while. But that is it. You just put that one aside to dry too. Once you got all of your shapes and your colors you want, you can just add them to a bracelet or a keychain or a necklace or whatever you can use regular beads for. You can use these ones for. My only suggestion is trying to keep them away from water. I know it's kind of hard with bracelets sometimes, just because they are still paper and the inside of them isn't going to be protected just because we didn't put any glue or Mod Podge on the outside. But that is the craft, and I would love to see pictures of you guys doing these or your finished products. If you want to, you can just share them to our Facebook page or you can email them to us. We'd love to see that people are doing these and they're enjoying them. And with that, I hope you have a lovely night and a lovely rest of the week. Thank you.